Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Spirit Island, a game designed by R.Eric Reuss, published by Fabled Nexus. In Spirit Island, 1 to 4 players are going to take around 90 minutes to take on the roles of spirits of an island, which has started to be invaded by a foreign power. These spirits are slowly waking up and responding to what the foreign power is doing to them and their native allies. In terms of the invaders, they're going to be taking up to 3 actions per turn. And the first thing they're going to do on a turn is they're going to ravage the land. In that case, we're going to see which terrain, and there are 4 different types of terrain on the board. And in that terrain, if they're present, they're going to attack, and they attack in 2 different ways. Now, they come as explorers and towns as cities, and explorers do 1, 2, and 3 damage. They attack the land. If ever they do more than 2 damage to the land, they're going to add blight to it. And if the players ever run out of blight, that's one way in which they're going to lose the game. They're also going to attack the natives who are there, the Dahan. In this case, we're doing 3 damage. They're going to kill a Dahan, and 1 here, they're going to kill Dahan. But then Dahan get a chance to fight back. And they may well destroy some of the invaders and try and restore some of the balance, taking this one off and this one off, for example. Now, when you kill a town or a city, that does do a benefit for you, and that it generates fear from a fear pool. If the fear pool ever runs out, it all goes back in again, but you're going to get some fear cards which are going to help you in their fight against the enemy, give you some powers, and those fear cards will activate before the enemy gets to do any of their actions. So what else can they do? Well, we go to the second area here, and we look at what terrain they're on, and then they're going to build within that terrain. Now, if there are no towns there, they're just going to add a town in, and that's going to become a base for them to explore from and to create more damage to you as the game goes on. If there's already a town in play, they're going to add a city, which again makes them more powerful, does more damage, and makes them harder to dislodge. The last thing they're going to do is they're going to explore. In this case, they're going to explore into wetlands. And you're going to look to any wetlands that are adjacent to the ocean or adjacent to towns that are already in play. And unfortunately for us, that's all the wetlands in this 2-player game with the 2 separate boards here, which are modular. And they're going to spread their influence out, which is going to cause us problems, because then all the cards are going to slide across. And we can see that they're going to ravage in the mountains they've built in. They're going to build in the wetlands they've explored in. It will go on throughout. One of the other ways in which players can lose the game is if this deck ever runs out. And when you get down, it's stacked down to level 3 of the 3. You're going to find they're going to activate in 2 terrains at once on each of the turns, causing you more and more problems. So what can we do to fight back? Well, each player takes the role of a spirit, and there are 8 of them in the base game, and they all have an individual starting deck of cards, individual special rules, individual tracks, and individual innate powers they can trigger. So what does that all mean? Before all of this happens with the invaders, the spirits are going to choose what they're going to do on this turn, but not everything activates straight away. Firstly, they've got 3 options for growth. And in terms of growth, they're going to be able to put presence onto the board, for example, given an opportunity to influence more lands. Also, when you choose presence, that's going to generate a base number of card plays you can do each turn from your hand of cards, and a base amount of energy you're going to have to help you power up those cards, as we'll see. Other things they can do is gain power cards, major or minor powers. There are 4 basic powers in the game, and they give you a guide as to how to build your deck for the first games until you get more used to it and kind of ease you into what you're doing. Other things you can do are reclaim cards you've played already, and with the more complicated spirits, they'll be able to add presence in various ways and do stuff with the Dahan, and there are lots and lots of different options as to what can be done. Then we're going to have a look and gain our energy and decide what powers we're going to activate on this turn. When we look at powers, there are several things on there. Firstly, they will have an energy cost, as you might expect, which you're going to have to pay now. Also, they come in fast and slow options. Now, fast powers are going to activate before all these invader actions happen, and then slow powers are going to activate. So you're going to have to plan ahead for those slow powers. They do various things like defending areas so that you won't get this blight on and you won't lose your Dahan. They're going to do damage back to enemies, so you'll be able to take them off the board. They're going to be able to gather things, so you might want to gather Dahan to a space or push invaders away into another space. And there's this whole deck of cards, majors and minors, and also each of the 8 of them, as I said, has got their own starting deck of cards. To go through all them, we'll be here for quite a while. The other thing that these power cards have are elements. And if you create enough elements as dictated on the board here, in this case we have got 1, 2, 3 fire and 2 of these here, that's going to allow us to activate this innate power of destroying 1 town. And again, that's a slow power, but various things will mess with different things, and you have to work out how your cards, your special rules and your innate powers are best going to allow you to stop the invaders from taking over the land. Now, I've been talking about generating fear, and some of these cards will also generate fear for you. When the fear empties, you get to put a card into play, and there are 9 on there. Now, when this third card comes into play, you're going to increase the terror level. And what that does is, it makes all the fear cards more powerful. They go up to their second level. But it also makes the game easier to win, because before you do that, you must eliminate every single invader piece on the board before you can win as the spirits. When you get to level 2, you must eliminate all the cities and the towns. If you get to level 3, you must just eliminate the cities. And the fear cards are going to do things like make the Dahan more powerful, or they might allow you to push the Dahan round, or they might be scapegoats even, and allow the invaders to start attacking each other. Once you get used to the basic powers, you can go into the more advanced ones. You've got lightning and earth here, and the river, and the shadows, and the thunder speaker, and the spread of rampant green, and the bringer of dreams and nightmares, and the ocean's hungry grasp. Once you're used to them, you can change the blight effects, which allow different things to happen once the island becomes blighted. It can be healthy to start with. There are also scenarios you can add in, like blitz, which will make them go quicker. The Dahan can be more powerful, but these come with more difficult victory conditions for you. You can also give the invaders a nationality, like Brandenburg and Prussia. They spread out more quickly. The Kingdom of England are better at building up these buildings more quickly, and the Kingdom of Sweden ravage and attack particularly devastatingly. And there's a chart within the rulebook which tells you how to mix and match the scenarios and the kingdoms to give you difficulty ranging from 0 all the way up to 10 if you're feeling particularly brave and you feel like you're an expert at Spirit Island. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out the Game Pit channel on YouTube. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please find the Game Pit podcast.